Hello everybody, this is Jenny McGurvey and I am excited to share with you my Project Life spread for the week of July 6th through the 12th. As you can see, I already have my photos laid out and my handy dandy notebook. I'm going through the stack of photos that I had printed. I had printed like 4 weeks in advance, or all together, excuse me, and so I needed to sort through those. Luckily, I had my notebook, as you can see it right there, so I could pick out which photos I had planned to use and which ones went week by week. Now I do print all of my photos on my Canon selfie printer. It's so easy. I can do it right from my house, right from my couch, no problems at all. So that's what I usually like to do. I just trim those edges off and get started. As you can see, I also printed some different size photos this week. I did the 4x6, the 3x4, and then a couple of those smaller photos as well that would just go right on top of a card but leave a lot of room for either journaling or embellishing. Now I have them all laid out and I'm going to go ahead and start choosing my cards for this week. I'm using the Scraptastic Club July This Life Noted Kit. There's a lot of awesome cards in there this month and I could barely choose which ones I wanted to use for this particular layout, which is super summery and super ordinary as well. So I didn't need anything that was just crazy and outlandish, but I could just choose ones that really went with the story of our everyday. Now, like I said, there were so many I could possibly use on this one, so it really was hard to narrow down the ones that I wanted to use. In the end, I tried to stick to a fairly consistent color scheme of cards that also went with the stories that I wanted to tell from this ordinary week. Now, as you can see, I have pretty much everything laid out pretty well. I am going to start choosing embellishments and different things that I want to add to the cards and to the photos themselves. Now, there's the exclusive stamp set. I'm going to use one of the stamps to stamp right on top of the photo. As you can see right there, I was prepping my stamp. I go ahead with a brand new stamp and rub it right over my skin. That helps prep the stamp and get a better image when stamping, and particularly when I want a really clear image like I did on that photo that I used the StazOn ink. Now I'm actually already partially even finished here. I'm just looking through some of these Simple Story stickers. They are absolutely perfect. I love them for this week. They are just wonderful with the white and then the dark and then also the multicolored. So they're just so easy to use right on top of a photo. There's also obviously 100 other ways to use them, but they're perfect just right on top of photos. Now I'm going to start working on that basketball photo. So I'm going to clip out this label from the cut apart, trim it up a little bit so that I can have it not completely covering the photo, and then add just my tiny bit of journaling as well. I'm just hand writing that. Some weeks you'll see that I do use my typewriter, though I will admit that's not very often. Mostly it's out of laziness. Now, as you can see, I have my phone out. What I'm actually doing is I'm looking for the exact date that that photo was taken, and then I'm going to use my October afternoon date stamp just on a little label from the cut apart, even smaller than the one that I already used. The phone is a fantastic tool in remembering when some of those things happened, since my photo stream automatically records the date right for me, so I don't even have to be writing things down of when these exactly happened. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the two labels to themselves, then I'm going to adhere them to the photo. And originally I was going to use one of the paper clips that was included in the kit, which is one of the larger Pebbles clips, which is super cool. Instead I decided to use a star clip from my stash because it went with sort of the sports theme, and the large clips are awesome in using in my planner. Now, as you can see, I'm looking through those cut aparts. They come on a 4x6 and they're in long strips, but you can use them on long strips on your 4x6 photos or cut them apart as I am here and use them on my 3x4. That is one of my favorite photos for this particular week, so it was really fun to use that, highlighting that particular photo. Now on this card, I'm going to use the stamp set as well, first using the date stamp from October afternoon that I already owned, and then also pulling out those exclusive stamps as well. Now as you can see, I'm adding a few of the October afternoon enamel dots. I really just love that there's various shapes and sizes, and they're just really fun to use. Now I'm using a dark gray ink right on top of that journaling card, only just to make it a little bit more interesting, I guess. And then I'm just going to hand write my journaling right on top of those lines and that's it. It's done. I don't need to even do anything else. And that's definitely the ease of hand journaling. Though I understand that some people don't like to use their handwriting. They don't think it's good enough, whatever. That's not a concern for me. I'm not worried about that. I definitely look at other family members' handwriting and I love having that. So I know that at some point somebody will feel the same way about my handwriting. So I do like to include that. Now that's one of the things too that I like to use, that notebook that I use for my planning. I like to allow myself to just use a little bit of script or whatever to try out new things. As you can see, I am adhering this small photo right on top of the 3x4 card, and then I'm going to work on embellishing it as well. Now I'm going through some of the items that are included and decide that I have a perfect flare that says PM that's perfect for night swimming. And I'm also going to use one of the vellum die cuts as well right behind it. It works perfectly. I love to use these glue dots in this dispenser for my flare. It's actually all that I use to adhere flare to anything. It's absolutely perfect. I also find myself using it a lot for wood veneer or acrylic shapes as well. Now, as you can see, I wanted to switch out that card that I had next to the swimming photo because it was a night swimming and I knew I had a photo that looked like a night sky with stars, and that worked out really well and they coordinated. And then also with the drive-in photo on the other side. Now again, I'm just going to reach for those enamel shapes and add just a tiny bit more interest to this particular card, and then that's it. It's really very, very simple. Now, as you can see, I've written drive-in in my notebook because I want to center my letters on that page. And I'm also going to use my ruler to line them up as well. I don't always do this. I'm not always worried with it being perfect or nearly perfect, actually more often than not. But in this particular case, I knew that it would be something that I looked at a lot since it's hovering on the photo. So once I have those stuck down and just add the tiniest bit more, we are all done with this layout for this particular week. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed my video, it would be fantastic if you could leave me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you enjoyed my video, and it lets me know the same as well. So thank you for stopping by and have a great day.